I've got this, and I know it doesn't look very exciting. This is some free 4x6 photo paper that came when I bought my printer. They're only small and they're glossy, and it was free, so it's not exactly very high quality. However, I have heard, and I read today in one of the Facebook groups that I'm a member of, that you can pour on photo paper. It's a little bit like Yupo, and apparently it won't warp and bend. Now that's the problem I've had in the past, both with the canvas panels and also trying to pour on like an acrylic or watercolor paper. So I'm going to give these little sheets a try. And I thought, seeing they're only small, I'm not going to be wasting a lot of paint if it really doesn't work out. So what I'm going to do is go back and try some dirty pours, because of course I've tried dirty pours before, flip cups, pouring it on the canvas and things, and just made a right horrible mess. So I'm going to try with these colours. I've got a nice bright green, a pinky sort of magenta, a purple, a silver and a white. And I'm going to mix them all together in a big cup and pour them out over my little sheet of photo paper and see what happens. So Michael's, I'm not impressed. However, photo paper, I really hope that I will be. So sorry about the noise, that's my cat. He's playing in a cardboard box underneath the table. Okay, so I'm going to mix up all my colours. Oh God, cat, come on. And then I'll get back to you. So my colours are all mixed. I use my pretty standard formula by now. I've used 1 tablespoon of paint, a half a tablespoon of Floetrol, and about 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of water. Then a few drops of silicone. And this time, rather than really beating it well to mix the silicone in, I've heard that if you just give it a few gentle stirs, it actually helps to create larger cells rather than beating it in, breaking up that silicone and creating smaller cells. So we will see. Get my, whoops, cat, come on. Get my paint. So I'm going to mix up in this little cup because I don't need very much. So I'll add some white to the bottom first of all. And then I don't think it'll really matter what order I put my paints in. So let's go with a nice daub of pink. I'm still using these little cups that have the lip on. Yeah. I've put him down a ping pong ball, you see, and of course now the cat's gone crazy. He loves his ping pong balls. Okay, a bit of purple. So I'm still using these cups with the lips on for now until I can try and find something that's going to work a bit better maybe. And then a little bit of the silver. I've had a bit of mixed results with the silver in the past. Sometimes it's created funny big kind of blobby things, and then other times it's just kind of disappeared in and not done much at all. But these colours are crazy together, right? I do like my bright crazy colours, so let's see. So maybe a bit more white on the top, because my white always seems to disappear. If I squeeze it in, that will maybe mix up those paints a little more. Okay, so here's my pour cup, and here is my paper. So because it's a very small scale, I think I'm just going to mix this up just a little bit, because I don't want it to come out unmixed on the paper in big scale. I need a fairly small scale. So let's see what happens. Zoom in a little bit so that the paper is in the shot. And now, what should I do? Should I do a flip? Go on, let's do a flip. It's been a long time. Oh, it's all leaking out anyway. Well, that wasn't much cop, was it? Anyway, let me give it a little moment and wait for those colours to kind of leach down, because at the moment, obviously, what I can see on the side here is a lot of the white and then a lot of the pink being the colours that I put in first. And I really want those to run down and incorporate into the others. I don't just want it to be predominantly green, which was the later colour that I put in. So I'm gonna give a little tap. It's at least stopped coming out. I really hope this paper isn't going to curl up like some of my boards have done. Okay, Of course, that was probably a lot of paint now to do a flip cup. It's probably going to go all over the place. Oh well, let's see what we get. I'll try and stop it from pouring off for the time being. Oh, it looks very nice in there. Okay, I can see the silver. That's looking good. Now of course, as I do this, the paper is bending. It's not the same as with a board or a canvas. So I'm guessing as I move it around, I'm gonna end up having to lose a lot of this paint. We'll see. Go back this way, down to my final corner. Come on, it's got those couple of little bits left where it's not flowing. Come on, I don't want to lose all the paint. Okay, a little bit there. So, well, it's a bit plain. It's a bit disappointing, I think. I'm just going to hold it in my hand and maybe if I run a little bit more off, especially down in this lower corner here where it's a little bit plain, see if I can run some more of that, because obviously the more paint I run off as well, the less chance we'll have that this paper is going to end up all warped and bent. I'm going to let it continue to run. Well, I've got a very straight edge on this side, so I'm going to run it back that way a little bit, try and break up this very straight edge. I think the straight edges are probably a lot to do with the fact that it's the paper. I'm kind of holding those edges with my fingers. So let's see. Okay. Well, it's not utterly disastrous and the paper seems to be holding up pretty well. So I'm just going to set this off to one side and put that over there for now. And now this, which I have here, I actually like a lot more than what I've got on the paper. So I think I'm going to grab out another piece of paper and see if I can do something with this. So let's see, I've got a nice bit over there. I kind of drag that in with the paper and then I put the paper down on top and lightly press. What I'm hoping, as I press, I'll be able to see the paint spread so that it's coming out to the sides, which will mean I'll know that I've got enough there. Let's do over this side too. Got enough on that corner. I'm not sure I've got enough at the bottom corner. Let's keep pressing it. Okay, so it's come out on all the sides, a little bit on that corner, and a little bit up there. So let's see what happens when I pull this up. Oh, that's a shame too. See, it was so pretty, but when I put the paper down and spread it, it really didn't come out too great either. It doesn't look much different to the other one. But let me put it back down in. There's a few bits that are a bit thin. So if I kind of do that and give it a little swipe, will that do anything? A little blank corner there. And another bit there. No, that's really not doing anything either. But it might make a nice background for something later on. So I'm just going to pour off. I've got a little bit of an extra blob in the middle there. I'm going to pour that off. And then I need to clean up this big mess. And then I'll come back and we'll actually torch these two pieces and see what happens. So here's both pieces. This top one has a little bit of colour, but it's also starting to just curl up now on these edges. So even if I did have something nice here, it'd be starting to roll in towards the centre. This bottom one's kind of plain, I'm going to give them a little bit of a torching. I may have to be careful because of course I'll probably melt my plastic, but let's see what happens. Okay, this top one has gone crazy. Again, it's very similar to what I've been getting before, that when I torch it, what comes through actually is white, but I'll zoom in and show that in a minute. I'm just going to torch this bottom one, see if anything happens on this swipe. Oh, that's actually quite pretty now. Right, I'll zoom in and let's take a look at them. So here's the first one I did. This is the one that I poured. As you can see, it's got lots and lots of tiny, tiny little cells. Looks pretty, but it doesn't have the large cell action that I was looking for. But seeing this is a piece of photo paper, I think that's actually not too bad. It is starting to curl up a little bit on the long edges here and here, so I'll have to keep an eye on that and see what happens when it's dry. The colours are nice though, the purple and the green I really like together. Let's have a look at this other one that I did. So this one didn't seem very much, and still as you look at it from a distance you don't see an awful lot. But when I zoom in, if I can get my camera out of the way of the light, maybe I need to zoom in that way instead and keep the camera back. It actually has really pretty cells in it. As you can see, they're small, but although from a distance it doesn't look much, up close it's actually really, really pretty, and I really like it. So that's the two of them together. Again, I don't think I can call this a dirty pour or a flip cup success for me. It's still not quite working out as I would like, but I'm going to report back and let you see these at the end once they're dry, and report back on how that photo paper performed. So here are the results of those pours now they're dry. This one here is very nearly dry and it looks very nice. There's a lot of silver in here. My husband was out last night, and when he came home, he doesn't really like what I do very much, but he did like this one. He said, wow, I really like that one. And that's high praise indeed. So there's that one. I like the colours in that, although maybe the green's a little bit too bright for me, I don't know. Here's the second one. This one's got lots of tiny details in it. Working backwards with the camera, it's hard to get it in the frame. There we go, there's that one. As you can see, they've curled up quite a bit there, but they're still dry, so I can't do anything about that for now. And here are the two that I did with the leftover paint. So that's actually really nice. It's probably a bit plain on its own, but it would be nice maybe for me to use as a background for something else. So I may put some other kind of mandala or drawing or something on there. Interestingly, the ones that had the least amount of paint, the ones that were swiped through the waste, they tended to curl up more than the ones that had more paint. So that's interesting. I'm not sure why that would be. This one here was the same. This one was just swept through the leftovers, and again it's a bit plain on its own. It's got some really nice pretty detail though, so I'm definitely going to be using this in something. I've not decided what just yet, but this one, what I did to straighten it out, I just ran it under a tap on the back, so I wetted the back and then I put it between a couple of boards with a weight on top, and it's still a little bit damp. I've just got it out so that we can take a look in the video, but then I'll go back and put this one and all the others, once they're fully dry, I'll just put them between a couple of boards, dampen them first of all, and I'm confident that the photo paper, it will flatten out. And then what I'm going to try and do is give them a coat of varnish, and hopefully they won't curl up when I've got the varnish on them as well, because it won't be as wet as the paint. And then I'll come back and share them when they're completely finished. So here they are all finished. They're flattened and varnished now and looking kind of shiny and glossy. They still haven't completely flattened out. There's still a slight curve on the edges, but they're pretty good. And now they've got the varnish on, they do have a nice shine and they look pretty good, I think. I like the one especially here with all of the silver, and this one actually turns out to be my husband's favourite. Of all the things I've painted so far, he likes that one the best. And there's this one here, and then the two other ones down at the bottom, which I should probably use for something else. Paint some kind of dot mandala or something on them. But having done this on the photo paper, I'm not quite sure what I'll do with them now. So if you've got any suggestions, then I'd be gladly hear them, because of course they're not beautifully finished on the back. They've all got fingerprints and painty marks and things like that. But if you've got an idea about how I can use them that isn't too expensive, it isn't going to involve buying expensive frames and photo mats, I'd love to have your suggestions. So thank you very much for following along with this experiment, and I hope you'll subscribe to the channel.